So hello everyone, it's Katie from Starlight, and I'm making this video because I was doing my morning practice, which was partly some home play that I'm doing for an abundance course that I've been doing, and partly my energetic daily practice, and then partly to tune in to the frankincense ceremony on Saturday. And so I was going through the exercises and the processes for what I'd had planned for my morning. And one of the things that I'd realised this week is that I'd had a really, really bad trigger. I'd got really, really thrown by the natural disasters that have been happening and in America and Mexico, and I noticed that I'd been thrown energetically on a deeper level than just being compassionate and empathetic and concerned. And my guides had been saying to me, you've really got to work on this, because whilst these changes are happening on Gaia, whilst Gaia is going through her transition, the people that are not being directly affected by natural disasters and changes that are happening really need to be able to hold space for those that are, and to hold the calm and anchor in the calm and the light. And so, because I'd had such a strong message about working on this, I decided to kind of go deeper with it and explore what that triggering was. And the triggering within my own subconscious as a reaction to what has been happening in the world was that I realised that I'd gone into a neediness, and it was almost like, because I knew other people were in need, I'd done that very human thing of kind of dropping the ball and going into my own neediness to mirror them, and going into, it's kind of like a shadow martyrdom of like, okay, I'm going into neediness because other people are in need, and we have to be in this together. And it's a very abstract thing to do, but it's something that happens in the subconscious, and it definitely doesn't serve. Like, yes, we must have empathy, yes, we must have compassion, but we shouldn't be doing that from a place of martyrdom, because it's not going to help anything. And so the fact that I knew all of these people were in need had triggered a part of my own neediness, and because it was blocking my ability to hold space for the collective and for myself and the flow of the life that I am actually living and manifesting, I decided to work more deeply on it. And then, bit of a long story, in the abundance homework that I was doing for this course that's by the amazing Lara Waldman, she was saying in one of the meditations, let your needs be met. And I've listened to this meditation all summer, and it was the first time that phrase really jumped out at me, and I was like, my needs, my neediness, this thing that's being triggered really needs a new perspective from me. And this new perspective was like a breakthrough moment with that sentence. It was like, when you're feeling needy, when you're feeling in need, there is a part of you that is trying to be heard. There is a part of you that wants to be met. And how I was seeing it's almost like a baby crying for a breast. Like, there are parts of you that want to be met by the universe. And then as that opened up, I was like, it's not just by the universe. It's, depending on what the need is, it's almost like opening yourself up to being met by Lakshmi or Venus or whichever energy or goddess or being can meet that specific need. And so today, as my practice, because it was something that I was really aware that I needed to work on, for my practice today, I was like, okay, I'm going to play with letting my needs be heard and letting them be actually calls for the universe to come and meet me. So every part of my life that was feeling a bit needy, in whatever situation it was, you know, whether it's that I need something sorted for our Malta journey, or if there's a part of me that's feeling a bit insecure, just whatever it was, any part of me that was feeling needy, I was going to let that part cry out and be met by the many breasts of light that this universe has. And so I was lying there and I was doing that, and it was really, really healing and powerful, and it felt like a really important thing for us to be doing at the moment. And I was seeing that actually, you know, part of what is happening to the human collective at this time is we're learning to not be needy in the way that we were, which is completely disempowered, but instead to be receivers and to actually have the power to energetically cry out and witness ourselves crying out just like a baby, and receive. And it's coming into a deeper level of receiving, and of receiving from the universe energetically. And so that was really, really beautiful. And it felt whole and complete. And then I went on to the next part of my daily practice this morning, which was to tune in to the frankincense ceremony. And what happened is suddenly all of those mini breakthroughs I had as I tuned into the frankincense ceremony came together. And what I was shown was that there is a human collective neediness that is being triggered at the moment, that the neediness that I felt was partly my own, it was definitely my own, but that there's also a collectiveness that is connected to that. And I was shown that this collectiveness is a need for love, and it's really, really low down in our physical bodies. It's actually where we make intimate love from, so like right down in the bottom of the pelvis. But this is a need for self-love or universal love. It's not a need for sexual love, although it might be expressed in that way. And I was shown that humans are carrying this neediness. And as I kind of was shown it, it was like, oh my gosh, we're, you know, so much insecurity and uncertainty is coming from here within me. And then it was like I was shown that, you know, I'd been playing around with receiving parts of me that wanted to receive from all different parts of my body. And they were like little things that I was playing with before. But this was like a bigger layer of neediness. This was actually where the trigger was for me. And it's really low down, and I almost see it as being belonging to lifetimes and lifetimes. So it's not like it has a story attached to it. It's like a deep wound. And this neediness that is here in the bottom, very bottom of our bellies and our root chakra and our sacral chakra is so connected to our survival and our health and our abundance and all these things that the universe is purging through us at the moment, and all the things that we're really struggling in our lives with at the moment. And this part of us needs to receive love at this time, and universal love in a way that is like we have to open up and surrender to receiving a level of love that we are not used to receiving for this stage in our ascension, and to come more into our power. And what I was shown is that the ego actually comes from this place. So the ego, how it was shown to me, is like, it's like a malnutritioned belly. So you know when you see malnutrition and a hungry belly, and the belly blows up, but actually there's no weight there, there's no fat there, there's no a substance there. It's just like the blown up belly. That's kind of what happens when this deep core part of ourselves is not receiving enough love. The ego will blow up like a malnutrition belly. And so it's a really, I've shown it's a really, really good thing to connect to if you're struggling with your ego at the moment in terms of insecurity or feeling like you're going into your arrogance and your ego. And by allowing yourself to receive from here, you can really create a deeper sense of self and connection, and allow yourself to be that calm warrior, space holder that we need to be at this time, that is able to it was like if you can receive from that place that wants to receive universal love, all of your other receiving is going to get easier. And then I was showing the meridians, and my guides have been talking loads about the meridians this summer, and saying how the meridians in the body and the meridians in the chakras are really key to receiving. They're how we fully energetically receive, and these need to be cleared. But what I was showing is that so many of the meridians really lead to this point, the body meridians and also the chakra meridians, and so it's a real central station for receiving. And in order for it not to be a neediness, it needs to receive wholeness, which is love. And so that is a really, really good practice to bring in to your daily practice, to focus on this very, very base pelvic area and open it up and allow it to receive love. And you can play. Maybe you want it to receive love from Isis one day. Maybe you want it to receive love from Gaia another day. But just to start filling up with love. And then you actually start to feel the flow in your meridians, in your energy body and in your physical body begin to change. It's quite amazing. What blew my mind is the connection that then came through with frankincense and the meridians. So my guides have been talking a lot about the meridians. Frankincense is the plant medicine that I've been guided to work with at this time, and it's such an important medicine. It's so sacred. It's tree blood. It's made from tree resin, and so it holds all of the peace and wisdom and prayers and heart energy of the trees that it comes from. And it also holds, it's a keeper of prayers, so it holds prayers throughout time. And it really, what I was being shown is that, you know, frankincense is good for the body. It is very, very good for connection because it opens up the heart and the third eye, etc. But it is also really good for teaching us to hold our center, stay in our calm, and for teaching us to pray, which is basically to manifest and then receive those manifestations. And part of the reason it is so good for that is because when worked with the right intention, when used in ceremony, it clears the meridians and it clears the old stories and blocks and blocks to the receptive energy that we have in the meridian flow of our body and our energy body. And that's why it is the keeper of prayers, and that's why it teaches us to pray in the, not in the Christian sense, but in the sense of truly manifesting, truly calling out, and then calling in and receiving in that which we are working with. And it teaches us through love and through grandparent love. And so part of the practice that you can do to clear this deep neediness is drink frankincense resin, either through tea or through water. And it's amazing, like I can actually feel it whenever I drink it. It brings more light into my blood. And then invite it to clear that flow down into that basin, and then let that basin receive all of the love and energy that you need in order to become who you are going to be. And so I invite you to do that. Don't use the oil, use the resin if you're going to drink frankincense. If you feel called to, we have some spaces left for our frankincense ceremony in London on Saturday, which is going to be really amazing. We're working with these meridians, and now with this breakthrough that I've seen and been shown, and we're working with the peace flame and frankincense, and one of my all-time favourite goddesses, Goddess Nana, who is a grandmother energy as well, to really bring us into a state of total expansion and surrender to receiving. So there's some spaces left, so if you want to come to the ceremony, it's in London, in Brixton. And yeah, I really feel like this insight is really, really important. So I hope it resonates, and if you have any questions, please let me know. And so much love and that deep core inner love and receptive love to you all. Mwah.